After I did a really short video about an Ultraman figure I got, in the mail I got a boxed figure that I could put together, and it came with some great pieces. Before I could even, 1 week later, before even 1 week passed by, it broke. And I'm going to give you a chance to see what I got anyway. Now, in these mystery boxes, if you buy the whole case of, I guess, 9 of them, normally with the Transformers, you're going to get all 9 of them. You may get a special version of one of them. Like, this is the special version, I guess. There's 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, and this one. I suppose this would trade out with this one. So either going to get the regular color or this one. I actually got Ultraman Zero. I was kind of surprised. Now, he is only 2 in 27 chances of finding him in the ultra rare version, since I deduced this 3 in 27, 3 in 27. So out of every 3 boxes you had, if you bought 3 boxes and they were perfectly randomized, you're going to get 2 of him and you're going to get 1 of him, is what it means. So here's the version I got. This is Ultraman Zero. And unfortunately, his neck is not like the Transformers. Now look at the side, you see there's like a little cup in there. Now you don't put the heads together on these at all, and I was so excited I put it together right away, and I had a lot of fun with it. I don't play with my toys rough. I mean, I'm an adult and I play with my stuff very carefully. So whenever I took him with me to McDonald's one day and he was in my pocket and I had a lot of fun, when I took him out at the end of the day, his head was still in my pocket. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just take it out. And I kept trying to force it down, and it was like, it's not staying. Why is it not clicking into place? And I kept trying to get it to click, and I looked inside. I was like, oh no, do you see that crack on the bottom? I can't believe that. And as soon as I started talking, I noticed a cat started to make noises, because they can't stand the idea of me doing something other than pet them or serve them. That's what cats do. Now you may think, well, if these are bad, does that mean the Transformers are bad? No, the Transformers are not the same way. They don't have the same kind of head construction. You do put their heads together. Now for the first series, it didn't have the eyes separate, so they had the face plate and the back, the helmet part. That was 2 parts. Nowadays there are 3 parts, because I think they're going to try to start making everything LED for the more expensive sets. Like they're going to make like your standard set, and then they're going to make a more expensive set, because the eyes are clear, or actually they're not clear, but they can be clear. They're a separate piece of plastic than the face and the helmet. So if they remade this, they'd make it 3 pieces for the helmet. Either way, unfortunately, it's not made the same way. And these, I mean, you can rearrange them if you want to, but they're made by the same company, Blokees, or however you pronounce it. And I really did. I was so excited. I was talking about how much I loved it and everything. And I got Ultraman Zero, which I really like. Out of all the figures on here, probably he's the best one, other than maybe Ultraman Blue over here. Or Ultraman, is that Neo, I think? Gosh, I really need to brush up on Ultraman. When I was a kid, it was just Ultraman. There was just one Ultraman back in the 70s as far as I knew about. But then they got more complicated. So I think there might be a fix to it, though. If I put some glue in there, but then whatever I stick in there to prop it up while it seals together, it's going to be stuck with it. So if I get like maybe a toothpick and jab it in there, put some glue on the toothpick, jab it under there, and then whenever it dries, break it off, that may work. Comment below if you know a good fix, because I'm not good at fixing toys, but I just got this. It makes me sad that he's already broken. I mean, if you don't mess with him too much, he can hold the head on there okay. It's just any kind of movement, it's just going to keep coming off. You know, when you put the heads on these things, they click. You probably didn't hear it, because it was like, I can hear it, I can feel it. I can't feel this one anymore. The other thing I wanted to do is not only do that, but compare it to the Ultraman that I did get. This is coming from an Easter egg thing. Basically, he fits inside of this from a gashapon machine. He came with his legs behind his head like this, like he was doing some ultra, like, what is that called? Yoga or something. And he came in this egg right here, or whatever you want to call it, but that's what they called it, with the instructions wrapped around him. So that's the way he came. And he didn't come with any weapons, which is fine. He comes with fists that you can't hold weapons. And I already talked about him in a short video. He has no head articulation, which makes sure you won't break his head. He also does not come with like shoulders that are, you know, multiple joints. It's just a rotation joint. These little guys right here have more articulation than I originally anticipated. They also have weapons And they have stands very similar to the Transformer ones. And by the way, look at the size comparison. I tried to take a picture of it, but this guy was leaning back and it made him look shorter on my Instagram. They come with this stand right here, and I like this stand because it's got this ball jointed part right here. So you can do it like a flight stand. And like, you know, like having a swift kick, or he's doing like a kick thing. And you could have it gripping him or whatever. I would just put it in there loosely, make his head pop off real easily. He said it was not like that before, unfortunately, when I first got him. So it can hold on very well. Like, you just got to slide it up a little bit. It's got a little nub there so it won't slide up and scratch up his paint on his chest and on his front and back. So the articulation is very similar to Transformers, but I'm going to tell you right now, I think they made these several years before they started making the Transformer ones. So it's like a trial and error approach. The crotch joint is, at first I thought it was just gonna be a T-crotch, but then when I put it together, there's a little black piece in there that's like a double barbell. So there's a cup on this side and a cup on that side, and you put the little black piece in. So he gets some added articulation. Can he do a full split? Absolutely not. So he's not gonna be as articulated as these guys who can do a full split. They got a full ball joints, and they got a little bit more going on down there. I'm talking about as far as having some more girth. I'm not talking about anything weird than these guys do. They look like it's like that part of their body's just lacking. They're just not there. Their hands look like they won't hold anything, but they actually do. They're so close to being almost not gripping looking. Like, you know how a Lego figure is really well gripping. And these are blocky-ish, sort of. So they have very similar articulation to the Transformers. They got the ball joints for here. They got the rotation and this. And they also have swivel joints for the hands. They have a ball joint in the neck, as you can see, and they have a swivel waist. And again, for these legs, like I was talking about, they do have some movement that I didn't think they would have before. So I was very pleased to see that they have a little bit more movement, because if you have just a straight up T-crotch, it just makes it hard to stand a figure up. These stand well. They're really easy to stand. I'm proving myself wrong there. There we go. So he's not that hard to stand. You can stand him on the stand as well. He's like the same thing as the Transformers. So he stands on the stand as well. And he has his weapon right here. As far as I know, and I have not, I've seen him on, I have a lot of Ultraman, what are they called, Blu-ray, I said Laserdisc, Blu-rays from Walmart, thankfully, when they started putting that stuff out. Every time I put something out, I'm like, oh, I've got to have that one, got to have that one. I love Ultraman. It's usually just the movies. They rarely have to have this whole series. So it's a nice sample of it. And besides, you can watch most of this stuff online. But he's got his weapon, which I'm assuming is like a crossbow, or, you know, like ratings, bow and arrow kind of set. But yeah, other than the fact that his neck is broken, I really still enjoy this figure a lot. I just know I can't mess with him as much because it's just going to fall off. So if you can, if you're one of these people that fixes things, comment below and let me know what should I do to fix him. And he won't be able to be my pocket pal again. He was my pocket pal and came out fine. This guy, not so much, unfortunately. So there's the difference in height. These are shorter and stouter. These are more realistic, I guess, humanoids. A little bit longer on the legs, a little bit short on the arms, but either way, they're about fine. And then how do they compare to a 4-inch figure? Well, let me get Aquaman's legs straight. All right, so there's Aquaman from the, what is it called? The ones with the Spin Masters. And here he is just out of a Microman, my favorite series, the Microman 1999. I guess that's what I call it, the Microman 99 series, even though it went to like 2003, I think. So these are my favorite figures of all time. I just absolutely love these. I mean, I loved them when I was a kid, and now I absolutely love them as the 1990. Somebody the other day said they always wanted something as a kid. I was like 30 whenever that came out. My gosh, I feel old. So yeah, it was on the Microman side, by the way. That's why I said that. They wanted something from this series. It was the Giant Croyer. So would I recommend getting it? I would love to still get some more, but I don't know if they're all gonna be that fragile. I am disappointed in the fragility of it. Maybe in the future I'll get some more. I'm not in a hurry though. I was gonna like, hey, sign me up. I'll start trying to get every case now. Now I'm like, I'll hold off for a while. There's like 3 other things on AliExpress. When I get my AliExpress stuff in, then I make another order. And it's usually like around $50 worth of stuff at a time. So I will probably make another, there's other figures that I'm more interested in at this point, but at least I got to try it out. If you know that this is like maybe, I don't know which wave this is, I guess wave 6, I'm assuming, because of the 6. If you can tell me like, hey, they got better, this is only wave 6 out of 20 waves or something. I don't know, I can't figure this out. These are harder to figure out, and they cost more than Transformers, probably because AliExpress sells a lot to Americans. We don't really, most Americans know Transformers more than Ultraman. So they're going to be more likely to buy these. That's why they can get them in larger volumes and sell them cheaper. So if you know more about this, please let me know. And I'd love to have more, as long as they don't break. All right. Thanks for spending time with me today, and have an ultra good day.